America's top diplomat, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, has just arrived in Geneva as delegations from Ukraine and the United States, as well as European security chiefs, meet to discuss President Trump's 28-point plan to end the Russia-Ukraine war. The proposals would require Ukraine to cede territory and reduce the size of its army. President Trump had set a deadline of Thursday for President Zelensky to accept the draft deal, but he's since said it's not his final offer. Ukraine's allies in Europe have pushed back on major provisions in the draft, which has not been made public, but details of which have been widely leaked. EU leaders released a statement saying the plan includes important elements that will be essential for a just and lasting peace, but goes on to say the draft is a basis that will require additional work. It also adds that leaders are concerned. The British, French and German leaders met on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Johannesburg to discuss the US proposals. Sir Keir Starmer said Ukraine's friends and partners remain committed to securing a lasting peace once and for all. Well, as we mentioned, today's talks are taking place in Geneva, from where our correspondent Imogen Foulkes reports.
The talks in Geneva are set to last just one day, but there is so much to discuss. The US plan was hatched without Ukraine and without its allies in Europe. It has elements they find deeply worrying: giving up land to Russia, forgetting about joining NATO, reducing Ukraine's armed forces. That looks to Kyiv like rewarding Moscow's aggression. Meanwhile, Russian attacks on Ukraine continue. Britain, France and Germany say they support the effort towards peace, but that this plan needs work.
I think it is important to say that one of the elements in the 28-point plan is the security guarantee from the US, an Article 5 guarantee. That's about the strongest guarantee that can be put forward. And so that fortifies in me the belief that what we're all trying to achieve here is a just and lasting peace, but it'll only be just and lasting if there are security guarantees and if we bear in mind that matters for Ukraine are always to be determined by Ukraine.
Ukraine's European allies are now scrambling to draft an alternative plan and sending their own diplomats to Geneva. President Trump has said he would like Ukraine to decide whether or not to accept his plan by Thanksgiving. That's just 5 days to consider complex proposals to end a war now close to 4 years old. Imogen Foulkes, BBC News, Geneva.
In Geneva, for those Ukraine peace talks, insisted that the White House peace plan was drawn up by the US. He was responding to claims from 3 senators who say they'd been told by Mr. Rubio that it was a Russian wish list.